Here's something nobody wants to admit. Smart people fall for manipulation. Educated people, self-aware people, people who've read every article on red flags and toxic relationships. And it's not because they're weak or naive. It's because manipulation doesn't target your weakness. It targets your humanity. Today, we're going under the hood into the psychology of why manipulation works on all of us, and more importantly, what you can actually do about it. Your brain is the vulnerability. 1 minute. The human brain is not wired for perfect logic. It's wired for survival, and a huge part of survival is social belonging. For most of human history, being rejected from the group meant death. So your brain treats social threats, someone's disapproval, withdrawal of affection, conflict, with the same urgency as physical danger. Manipulators exploit this at a biological level. When someone gives you the silent treatment, your brain fires the same distress signals as physical pain. When someone love bombs you, your brain floods with dopamine, the same chemical triggered by food, warmth, and safety. When someone creates fear or urgency, your prefrontal cortex, the rational decision-making part of your brain, goes partially offline. Fight or flight kicks in and clear thinking becomes nearly impossible. This is not a character flaw. This is neuroscience. Manipulation works because it hijacks systems that evolved to keep you safe and connected. You were never supposed to be immune to it. You were built to respond to it. The 3 psychological hooks. Across all manipulation tactics, there are 3 core psychological vulnerabilities that get exploited again and again. Hook number 1, empathy. Empathetic people are statistically more susceptible to manipulation, not because empathy is a flaw, it's one of the most beautiful human qualities, but because manipulators weaponize it. When someone expresses pain or need, your empathy compels you to respond. Guilt-tripping, playing the victim, emotional outbursts, all of these are effective precisely because you care. Hook number 2, the need for consistency. Psychologist Robert Cialdini identified this decades ago. Humans have a deep drive to be consistent with their past commitments. Once you've agreed to something small, agreeing to something bigger feels natural. This is why manipulation often works incrementally. Each small yes makes the next one easier to extract. It's the foot-in-the-door technique, and it works on almost everyone. Hook number 3, fear of loss. Loss aversion is one of the most well-documented biases in behavioral psychology. We feel the pain of losing something roughly twice as intensely as the pleasure of gaining the same thing. Manipulators frame their tactics in terms of loss. You'll lose me. You'll miss this chance. Everyone will think less of you, because the fear of losing is almost always stronger than the desire to gain. Know your hooks. The one that gets you most is the one that needs the most attention. How to build resistance. So here's what actually works, and it's not what most people think. Here's the truth. You can't think your way out of manipulation in the moment, not reliably. By the time your emotions are activated, your rational brain is already playing catch-up. So the real work happens before the moment, not during it. 1. Build your self-awareness baseline. Know your values, your boundaries, and what you actually want, independently of other people's opinions. Manipulation gains its grip when you're uncertain about yourself. The clearer your internal compass, the harder it is for someone else to tell you which way is north. 2. Create a pause practice. The most powerful thing you can do in a high-pressure or emotional moment is buy yourself time. I need to think about this. Let me get back to you. I want to sit with this before I respond. These aren't weaknesses, they're circuit breakers. They give your prefrontal cortex time to come back online. Any person or situation that cannot tolerate your pause is telling you something important. 3. Name what's happening. Research in neuroscience shows that labeling an emotion, I notice I'm feeling guilty right now, or I'm feeling pressured, reduces its intensity. The simple act of naming it creates distance between you and the feeling. That distance is where your agency lives. 4. Maintain outside relationships. Manipulation thrives in isolation. If someone in your life consistently discourages your relationships with others, monitors your outside connections, or becomes the single most important relationship in your world, that's the architecture of control. Keeping a diverse support network isn't just good for your well-being, it's a structural defense against manipulation. The goal isn't to become suspicious of everyone or to shut down your empathy. Those responses just trade one vulnerability for another. The goal is to become grounded in yourself, in your values, in your ability to pause and think. A grounded person isn't immune to manipulation, but they recover faster, they notice sooner, and over time they stop attracting the dynamics that relied on them not noticing at all. If this kind of content helps, hitting subscribe means I'll see you next time. I cover psychology, self-awareness, and the stuff that actually makes a difference in how you move through the world. And the tactics I'm talking about, I broke down all 7 in my last video, and once you see them, you can't unsee them. It's linked right here. Take care of yourself. See you in the next one.